Hello and thank you for joining us on the Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, organized labor demand payment of 5-month arrears of new minimum wage. Police arrest Chadian. Nigerian kidnap suspects recover 10 million naira. INEC fixes November 16 for Melaye Adeyemi senatorial election rerun. And later on the show, bandits sack 17 villages, displace 2,000 residents in Kaduna State. I'll be hanging out with Olayinka Oyegbile and Wahid Bakare. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for joining us. The new minimum wage law in Nigeria has been signed and an agreement on consequential adjustment on salary has been reached. But the battle for the pay rise for workers appears to be far from over. The Trade Union Congress said side of the Joint National Public Service Negotiation Council wants the federal government to pay 5-month arrears of the new minimum wage dating back to 18th of April when President Muhammadu Buhari signed the bill into law. In essence, that's 6 months of arrears. Gentlemen, Nika, how realistic is this? Now, we finished with the consequential adjustments. Now, the Trade Union Congress, that body is now calling for, okay, we're going to backdate it since the president signed this bill to law so that we can get our arrears. How feasible is this?
Well, it's good that they are making that argument, but I don't think they are going to have any success in it. Because I'm aware that there is a federal government gazette or circular which has been in existence since in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, that says that no financial benefit will be attached to arrears. There will be no more, nothing like arrears. Because the reason is that I think the federal government then learned from the Udoji Award that led to spiral inflation in the country. So the law now says that whenever there is a promotion, you will get the salary. The date of promotion will be there. For instance, now, it will say that you have been promoted from May 2019, but with financial notion. There's one language they use, I think it's something notional or something. I've left the civil service a long while ago, so I can't remember. Now, it says something like that, that notional and with financial benefits from so date. So the best I think perhaps they can get, unless that law has been abolished, will be maybe a month or two. But 6 months or 5 months, I think they are just, it's good to agitate and ask for it. Maybe they will get it, but I don't think they will. Because if the federal government does that, it has broken a law that has been in existence for over 20, 30 years. So I don't think...
Wahid, what do you make of this demand?
Well, I think they have every right to demand for it. Whether they will get this is another thing entirely. You never can tell. You know, I think it's within their legitimate right. And I think they have their reason for saying that they should pay in arrears, because we know that law can also be in retrospective. You know, it can be backdated. It depends on what the enacting formula says. If the enacting formula says that, because now it will be spelled out there. If it says that, you know, it has to be from the day the president signed, I think they may eventually have their way. For situation whereby the party will go to court at the end of the day to go and slug it out. I think that it will be good. Like I always argue on this program, that we should always from time to time continue to put to test our law. Let's see where the loopholes are. Let's see what are the benefits we can get from the existing law. Let's see whether we need to amend the existing ones. You know, if you don't put the present one to test, you can't know all of this.
Now, if the battle with the new minimum wage is likely to shift from the federal to state government after this, because I discovered that in their consequential adjustment and co, it was during the tripartite meeting when they were deciding on the new minimum wage that the state governments were actually represented and carried along. But for this consequential adjustment, it's like the federal government forcing a fait accompli on the states. What do you see that will play out?
It is going to be a long-drawn battle or debate. That's what I see. Because what they have agreed on, some states will still tell us, or will still tell you that they cannot pay. So if you agree that we should pay 30,000 and you it is graduated, which of these states, let's be realistic, let's look at all the states. Which states are ready to pay this much? Even the 18,000 naira, we still have states that are falling short, that have not up till now been able to pay that 18,000. So for this now to come in, and even if the federal government at the level they are now, nobody is sure when the payment will start, and if the federal government agrees to pay, the states now will begin to look for how to get more money. What will they do? How can they show up their internally generated revenue? What is it that they will do to make more, to get more money? And the revenue sharing formula still remains what it is. So it is going to be a very long drawn battle between each of the state government and their workers. Because honestly, things are very tough. It is kudos to workers, the fact that whatever they are even getting now takes them to the end of the month. But at the same time, even the state government, most of them are not very creative. In fact, majority of them, they are only waiting for the federal government to give them allocation. There are so many ways they can make money legitimately. Now, how many people today are in tax-paying net? How many? If you look at the level of those who pay tax, it is people like you and I whose tax are deducted from source that pay tax. The Danfo driver, where does he pay his tax? The Okada man, the organizer, all those informal sector. Where do they pay their tax? Where do they pay it? So, and there are ways the government can make sure all this is done. But the only way they look is, well, the federal government, we have federal government allocation that will come, and therefore, when that one comes, we manage it and we do with whatever we can do. But they have to be very, very creative. Look, what we need are not really politicians, but as they always say, we need technocrats. But when these technocrats get there and they see the humongous political battle they have to fight, they also conform. But for us to be able to break out of all this, people who have business sense must come into government and must advise government on what to do. There are so many. If you look around you, there are so many ways the government can make money. And what is it that the government is doing to block this, to make money from this avenue? And even the little ones that are coming in, there are so many drain pipes that are there. You go to a government office, even the legitimate money you are supposed to pay, you can pay money today for a service, another person goes there, that's a few hours after you, the tickets, the receipt you are going to be given will be different. So where does this all go? How do we block the loophole?
Now, in terms of revenue generation, you can see what the federal government has done with the VAT, as in from 5 to 7.2%. And the state governments, from what I understood, what I was told was that they'll be able to benefit from this, and so that they can fulfill their financial obligation. Do you still see the states having problems paying this new minimum wage?
Like my colleague rightly said, you know, there are so many, they need to look for a way of generating revenue instead of going cap in hand to Abuja at the end of the month. That's where the problem lies. You know, if you look at virtually all the states that we have in Nigeria, we have vast deposits of mineral resources that they are sitting on, but they cannot harness those mineral resources simply because of the archaic law, which vested the power to do so in the hand of the federal government. And we said we are operating a federal system of government. Why can't we enact the law so that states can have access to their mineral resources and do wonders with them? They can generate a lot of money from them. Then another thing is that government should stop providing employment for people. You know, it's a populist agenda. If government continues to provide employment for people, all you need to do is to provide them enabling environment. Nigeria is a very fertile land. Investors will come in any time to come and invest in Nigeria. We have the market. Nobody can toy with Nigeria when it comes to availability of the market. You know, provide the enabling environment. Let investors come in. They will give employment to people. If of government, it's called that anytime government is coming in, they are part of the electionary campaign. They say they are going to provide job for people. They put a lot of people in the civil service in a state that cannot generate money on its own. How are we able to pay at the end of the day? They should stop all this. They should look inward. You know, look for a way to generate revenue without putting additional burden on the people. Because when you ask them to generate revenue, what they would do, the only option that is readily available to them is to put additional taxes on people. No, that's not the way to go about it. There are various ways you can generate revenue without putting additional tax burden on the people. You know, once they are able to generate enough money, they will be able to pay, and they should also be mindful of their ostentatious lifestyle, whereby an official is going somewhere, you go in 20 convoy of vehicles, they will be fueled. Each of the driver will be paid at the end of the month. For what? That's why they are finding it difficult. If they can block all the loopholes, it will not be difficult for them to pay.
Now, when we come from state to state now, we are talking about the peculiarities of the states. I can't be earning 30,000. I live in Lagos, Nigeria now, and this is the capital of Lagos. Ikeja here is the capital of Lagos. I know how much it is to rent, you know, a 3-bedroom flat compared to the man that is living in Zamfara, or compared to that man that is living in Ekiti, Ado Ekiti, or compared to that person that is even Oshobo. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Why must we say we're practicing federal system of government and everything we do, all our action smacks like, you know, we're practicing unitary system of government. So the federal government has decided the minimum wage now and has signed to law, and everybody from all the states, not looking at the peculiarities of this state and how financially buoyant the states.
You know, we've spoken about this several times on this program. I still don't understand why the federal government must be the one to dictate how much people must be paid. For instance, if I work with the Federal Ministry of Information and I'm in Abuja, fine. And the Federal Ministry of Information decides to open an office in Lagos, and you are transferred to Lagos, Zamfara, and the rest of it, you can enjoy the federal government pay. Good. But why will someone be working with a state government that his own resources are different from the federal, and you want the state government to pay the same money that a federal worker will be paid? Well, maybe we have not traveled wide enough, perhaps, but anywhere in the world, anything you talk about federal, there must be disparity. The state, for instance, in the US, there are some states, you have your driver's license. When you drive into that state and you need to stay some days, you need to go to the states.
And the minimum wage varies.
Exactly.
In America, from state to state.
So why should we have the same? It is this military mentality that we have transferred. I think I have my first caller. Up to
Wale is calling us from Lagos. Thank you for OLAKUNLE. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening.
Good evening, Kunle.
How are you, sir?
Please go ahead with your contribution. I'm fine.
Thanks. I love the program. Yeah, are you listening to me? Thank you very much. I'm very appreciative for this program. God bless you all. What is really happening in this country is that we did not get it right at all. How much is 30,000 that a government cannot pay us, which is very bad. Now, number one, some senators till date, their children, they are not schooling in Nigeria. They are schooling over to Nigeria. Now, 30,000 naira is very difficult for them, and still yet they are still debating of the 30,000 naira to pay. How much is 30,000 naira? From the 30,000 naira they are talking about, it's not do anything in Lagos State. Most especially, you are collecting 30,000 naira, and you marry with one wife, and you have two children. The children are going to school. What are they going to eat?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. I think it's still saying almost the same thing.
Exactly. You know, it is this military mentality thing that we are still working on, that anything that happens at the center must happen in the states. It should not be that way. As I was saying, you know that in some states in the United States, when you drive there and you are going to spend a week, you have to go and validate your driver's license. The same thing with wages. The wages are different. So it shouldn't be a fait accompli. If Lagos says it can pay 40,000, why should it abide by 30,000? And if Zamfara says, no, it is only 25 I can pay, then if you know you don't want to work with Zamfara state government, then you look for a job either in the private sector in Zamfara state or federal government in Zamfara state, or you go to where you can get a better paying job that will satisfy you. I think it is even unfair for me in Lagos to be earning 30,000 naira and somebody in Zamfara or Osun or your state or wherever to be earning the same thing. It is unfair. So the law, if we really want to talk about federalism, we must look at what we are going to do. The 30,000 naira, as OLAKUNLE has said, is nothing. Honestly, if you look at it, okay, if you are working in VI and you live, let's even say you live in Yanaworo, how much do you spend on a daily basis to go and come back? You have to pay rent, you have a wife, you have children. So what do you do? I mean, this 30,000 naira, it is not as if it is enough. It is bad enough that we are still arguing over 30. If you take that 30,000 naira now, a bag of rice is about 20. So,
20 plus.
So what it means?
Over 20,000 naira. I think
What it means?
23, 24.
And you know, unfortunately, it is the poor man who spends more on food than the rich man. Because he buys the rika of rice today. He buys the rika of yam tomorrow. But the rich man will buy a bag of all these things and he lasts him for almost 2, 3, 4, 5 months.
Okay, I'll quickly take this break. When we come back, we'll discuss more. It's still Journalist Hangouts. Please don't go away. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's no longer controvertible that the worsening security situation in Nigeria has foreign undertone. The intelligence response team and the special tactical squad of the Nigerian police arrested 81 suspected kidnappers, armed robbers, and cyber scammers in Taraba, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Sokoto, and Zamfara states. The bottom line of this is that the gangs included Chadian and Nigerian suspects. The sum of 10 million naira was also recovered, and they're saying those are not even Nigerian, that they are Nigerian suspects. Do you want Wahid? What's happening now? This is even having, you know, a kind of foreign connection now.
Yes, we have always suspected that most of these attacks that are being, you know, attributed to Nigerians, they are not being carried out by Nigerians. We have always suspected that, and this is a confirmation of that suspicion that we have had over the time. You know, that some of these things are being done by foreigners. But what is important is that whether they are being done by foreigners or by Nigerians, what is important is that government must make sure they are on top of the situation. Because you can't get, there is nowhere in the world where you can get a crime-free society. Even most of these Scandinavian countries that are being rated as the best, they still have crimes, except that they are barest minimum. You know, what is important is for government to be on top of the situation. If there are crimes, go after the criminals, get them, bring them to book. But my worry is that if you look at some of these criminals that were arrested, some of them formed their gangs while in prison. That speaks volume about the kind of correctional facilities that we have in this country. they form gangs while in prison, and they got to know while talking to one another that look, our tenure will soon come to an end. So before that, they have formed a criminal gang, and the first thing they did was to go after a Sokoto businessman, and they kidnapped him, and they got 15 million naira as ransom at the end of the day. You know, we need to look at some of these our correctional facilities. What are the things that we are not doing right? You know, we have some situation whereby you mix criminals, adding criminal with those ones that are not so adding. At the end of the day, they get lessons from those ones, and they become adding in their own way too. You know, the only thing that we need to that want to be achieved by putting people in jail is for their liberty to be restricted. Any other thing should not be added. In other words, you cannot afford to toy with the emotion of prisoner. Their emotion, their psychological or physical emotion, you can't toy with it. You can't say because they are prisoner, you treat them the way you like. These are some of the things. These are some of the end results. They will come out to become more hardened, because at the end of the day, after finishing their jail term, whether you like it or not, you have to release them back to the society. What kind of people are you releasing back to the society? Are they being reformed, or are they coming out to be more hardened, like we've seen in this case now? We need to look. It's go beyond changing of the name of our prison from prison to correctional homes. What are you correcting? Are you correcting something in the real sense of it? That is what we should be interested in, not about changing of name. Changing of name will not change anything. If they are correctional homes, they should be correctional homes. What are the things they are doing? Are you sure that by the time you release them back to the society, because whether you like it or not, at the end of their jail term, you have to allow them to go. When they come back to the society, what are they coming to do? Are they coming to become hardened and start carrying out crimes, you know, in a larger manner, like we have seen in this case now? Prisoners that were about to finish their terms, they came together and they formed another more dangerous gang inside the prison. And when they were released, they met one another, and they started with armed robbery. After a while, they moved from armed robbery. They moved to kidnap, because they felt they could make more money through kidnapping, and it's evident that they have been able to make a lot of money before they were caught.
Yeah, it is. It's so alarming, the nature of our border, because if you have Chadians, despite the fact that they share boundary with this and Nigerian, always having access, unfettered access, even smuggling ammunitions down to Nigeria to perpetrate,
you see, most of these people who come in, some of them come in with good intention that they want to go to Nigeria, that Nigeria is a land of opportunity, they want to go and make money. But when they come and they see the reality that it is not as easy as they think. For instance, you see a man hawking kola nut in traffic, and you ask yourself, how much kola nut will this man sell to be able to cater for himself and perhaps a wife, and also even pay rent? So, and because the border is porous, the truth of the matter is that unless you know, it is very, very difficult to be able to pinpoint, except those whose physical features are different from ours. It's very, very difficult to be able to know that this one is not a Nigerian. Even here in the South, we have our brothers who are Yoruba in the other countries. They come in, so it's the same way we have it in the North. Nigerians come into Katsina, come into Kano, come into everywhere. So to monitor them is a bit difficult. But what the government needs to do is to tighten the process of registering who is a Nigerian. It is not enough because I speak Yoruba to say that, yes, I'm a Nigerian. Or because you speak Hausa to say you are a Nigerian. Or because you can speak the language they speak in Akwa Ibom now, Ibibio or whatever, and they say, yes, you are a Nigerian. Because we have so intermingled, we become so close. I'll give you an example. There is a man in my neighborhood who is an itinerant tailor. we speak Hausa together. But one day, I noticed that one of his other colleagues came and he was speaking another language to him. And I said, I spoke to him in Hausa. I said, what language is that? He said, language, he mentioned the language and he's from Niger. The language is a Nigerian language. And I said, oh, so where are you from? He said he's from Niger. I said, but I've always taken it that you are an Hausa man. He said, yes, but his own is from Niger, so he has another language. But all along, because I speak Hausa, we have always been speaking Hausa together, and I thought he's an Hausa man. So these are things that we need to really, really focus on. How do we differentiate, or how do we differentiate who is a Nigerian and who is not? And that is the reason why when we were talking about this, whether it is Ruga or no Ruga and all that, people were saying no. Because we want to accommodate everybody. You bring somebody from Niger, you bring somebody from Chad, you bring people from Benin Republic, everyone comes in, everybody claims to be a Nigerian because Nigeria is the big brother, and then our own bad boys mix with them, they influence them, their own bad boys come and influence. You don't forget that in the year 2000 or thereabout, there was this international smuggler and criminal, Ahmad Tijani.
Yeah.
Who, so those are the kind of things that come. If you see Ahmad Tijani, you will never know that he's not a Nigerian, because the physical features, everything, we are almost all the same thing. So there must be a way. And I think the best way government must begin to do this is people must be registered at birth. If you are born in a hospital, they must do your biometric and all those, well, if a child is too small or too young to do biometric, but there must be either international passport or something to identify. That is the way it is done everywhere, so that you are able to know who and who is what. But the way we are doing it, people will come from Niger, people will come from Togo and so on, mix with us and begin to commit crime in our midst. Then how do we solve that?
Yinka, do we need stronger laws, to enact stronger laws? Because they've always been arresting these people. They arrest them, they parade them, we see them on TV. But it seems that the more you arrest them, the more that market is growing.
I think it's not about law. We have existing law that can take care of some of these things.
Exactly.
But
what are the punitive measures that can be taken?
Implementation. It's about implementation.
Because
make
if
sure that
Evans, that is a kidnapper, if he was arrested like a year ago, and he's still awaiting trial, still in court till today, he has not been sentenced, he has not been punished, what could send signal out there to intending kidnappers?
It has nothing to do with our law. It's about implementation. It's
implementation and prosecution.
Law, and prosecution, diligent prosecution. I won't be surprised if at the end of the day they free this Evans of a man. I won't be surprised, because the way we do things here, we are fond of putting the cart before the horse.
Yes.
We are fond of doing that. That's why in a place like China, if we were to be in a place like China, they have arrested him by now, he will have been found guilty, because before they even take you to court in China, they will have done all the necessary work. They will have done all the necessary investigation. So the notice of proof will now be on the accused, not on the stage to prove. In here, what we say is that whoever alleges must prove. But in a place like China, it is you, once they allege that you have done this, it is not left for you to. You are the one that will go the extra mile to convince the court that you didn't do those things, that you are not guilty.
You prove yourself innocent.
Because once you are taken before the court, it's almost certain that you'll be found guilty, because they would have done all the necessary investigation. They would have taken all the loopholes. They won't leave any room for any lawyer to capitalize on any loopholes. Because you know that this thing is about law. It's not about sentiment. You can't say because of they said he did this, then they must be found guilty. Judges are not expected to behave as Father Christmas. They are expected to adjudicate based on the argument placed before them by the parties involved. That is why it is somewhat difficult here. It's not about the law. We don't need any new law. The existing law are good enough to punish these people. I remember there was a time even that, by that time, I've not even thought, I never knew I would become a journalist. I read in one of the national dailies, and a robbery suspect was brought before a judge. And when the judge saw the person, the judge just opened his mouth. And this same guy, he was brought here 2 months ago. And I remember that I did not say that he should be released. I said he should be remanded. So at one point, he did leave prison to go and commit another fresh crime that makes you to bring him to my court again. So police need to do more on this. You know, they need to do more. Carry out thorough investigation. When you take the person to court, do diligent prosecution. Make sure the person does not escape justice. Because if you don't handle your case very well before a judge, the judge can say, okay, no, because of the lack of diligent prosecution, I'm freeing this person. Whatever we are going to say thereafter will be on mere sentiment. It will have nothing to do with the law.
Linka is a money spinning crime. Nigerians pay up. Even you understand that even if the police are telling you that, oh, they were rescued and without paying ransom, you discover that most of these kidnapping stories, you get to hear good ransom, good amount of money paid. Apprehending them now, with meeting them with 10 million naira cash. You should know that how lucrative that business is.
You know, like it was said yesterday, the Assistant Commissioner of Police that was kidnapped and they said was rescued. Well, we take that with a pinch of salt. Because the truth of the matter is that these people have discovered that armed robbery doesn't pay much. I mean, you
have a lot of risk.
Yes, exactly. You go to the highway, you want to rob, people don't no longer carry cash. They only carry their ATM card and transfer another or their phone. Therefore, even when you go to houses now, is it the TV that you want to steal that people will not see? Where will you sell it? So the lucrative one now is to kidnap people. And they know that when they kidnap, of course, people will want their relations alive and back. So to even go to the police to report that this is happening will be tough. And the way to do it is every time they arrest these people, they do get money from them. And I said some time ago, it is just because we have not been able to explore that alternative very well. If a man, if someone is kidnapped and they ask for ransom, there's technology that can make it possible that, yes, you go and pay the ransom, but there are chips, small chips that will be kept inside the bag of money that will tell you where those people are. Why can't we invest in that for
most of the time they will ask the family involved not to even involve the police.
Yes,
if you
of
try to talk
course.
to the police,
that one is being done to frighten you, to instill fear in you.
Even in very advanced society, we've all read about the Italian mafia and the rest of them, all those underworld in the US. We know about these things. They will tell you, they will drop the fear into you that you must never report to the police. But when you report to the police have a way of doing it. There are chips that very small, not as big as the SIM card that we use, that they will put in the money. You take the money, the location where the money is, the chip will show on their system, and they will know how to arrest and swoop on these people. Why are we not investing in it? Every day you hear that billion is voted for security. What exactly are this money being used for? Money, security is not only in buying guns. No. In fact, the emphasis should now not be more on weapons, but on machinery to help them detect where criminals are hiding. People are going on the streets. If there's anything untoward that happened, they can retrieve the tape and play it back and see. All these bombings that have been happening around the world, how are they being able to get the people? Is it not through CCTV camera? The one that happened in Boston some years back. It was through the CCTV that they got the guy. That guy that was carrying a backpack.
For Boston Marathon.
Exactly. So we must not only invest in buying guns, buying aeroplane, and buying all that. The world is getting more sophisticated. So the law enforcement agencies also must invest in intelligence.
All right. Now, the political battlefield in Kogi State, north central Nigeria, has been further expanded. While residents of the states are getting set for the governorship contest, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has added to that electoral duty. The commission has fixed November the 16th for the conduct of the RERUN election for Kogi West Senatorial District, the same dates for the governorship contest. According to INEC, the RERUN election between the incumbent senator, that's Senator DINO, and his predecessor, Smart Adeyemi, will take place simultaneously with the governorship poll. It is certainly a battle for two familiar foes. Gentlemen, I don't know. At a point in time, Senator Smart Adeyemi was in PDP. At a point in time, Dino Melaye was in APC. Now, Smart Adeyemi is in APC, Dino Melaye is in PDP. But they've always been rivals.
Yeah.
And looking at the track record, after the Court of Appeal gave their verdicts, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? And I know that there's always this 90 days window for INEC to conduct a fresh election. What was INEC looking at? How strategic is this move? Wahid?
I think for me, it's quite strategic, and I must give kudos to INEC for taking along that line. They have now decided to use a stone to kill two birds. You know, it will reduce cost, because if you conduct the two elections separately, the governorship first, then the Kogi West, you know, it also, apart from the cost implications, it also has a lot of security implications. You know, by doing the election the same day, you can in a way restrict the movement of people. But it will have been difficult if you are doing it separately. People can move from one local government to another. Those who are not supposed to take part in a Kogi West election, they can easily move from one location, from one local government to another. But the focus will be more on the governorship election. So everybody will mind this or our own business wherever they are. I think
the state will be under lockdown.
It's a good development for me.
Now let's look at the characters involved. Smart Adeyemi used to be one-time president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, and Senator Dino Melaye, and these guys are all from the Okun area of Kogi State.
Well, to use the cliche, is the battle of the Titans, and the way I see it, honestly, it's going to be a tough contest, but give it any day, I think Dino is going to win.
What gives you that impression? Because don't forget, the same Smart Adeyemi is the Director General of Yaya Bello Campaign Organization.
Yes.
Right now, he's leading his campaign.
Yes.
And from all what we are seeing on ground, they will have the backing of the ruling party, incumbency, and so many other things. Dino is like, he's the one that is disadvantaged there.
Yes, he's disadvantaged. But if you look at it critically, Dino has the mass appeal. Whether you call it notoriety or you call it popularity or whatever, Dino, anywhere in Kogi West, people know him. And for those who are close to that area, they believe that Dino is a man of the people. You may hate him, you may not like his politics and his excesses and all that, but this is a man that anywhere he gets to is electrified. People want to flow along with him because he's a populist. He knows that...
Is this still popular in that area?
I believe very strongly it's still very popular. Much more popular than
Smart Adeyemi.
Smart Adeyemi. I want to bet seriously on it that despite the power of incumbency of the governor and the ruling party and all that, Dino Melaye, I believe, is going to win that election. Because I have friends there, and we have been talking. Some of them don't even like him too. But there is the politics of Smart Adeyemi, they don't so much like. Smart Adeyemi, good journalist and all that, but I believe the way he behaves, he has not really moved with those who are the real grassroots or those who are the mobilizers of the people as such. But Dino, while he was in the House of Representatives, everybody knows him. He became a senator, he became more known, and don't even also, for him not to get that governorship ticket, I think it was a strategic move by the PDP. The reason is, the PDP might have looked at it that, look, it is better for us to have Dino in the Senate. He's already there in the Senate. Don't let him come out to contest for a governorship that he may not win. But the Senate, they are very sure that he has the mass appeal and he's going to win it. Whether they are right or wrong, November 16 will prove it. But I want to wager with them along that. I think Dino has more mass appeal than our colleague.
Why can you stick your neck?
Well, I won't stick out my neck for either of the two candidates. But all I can say is that Dino is like the proverbial cat with 9 lives. He has survived so many political onslaughts in that place. You remember that a lot of money was voted to ensure he was recalled. At the end of the day,
it didn't work.
It didn't work. So if it didn't work, it shows that the man is popular, like KOGI rightly said. He's very popular in that area. I don't know whether he's going to win or not. That is for the people of the KOGI West to decide on November 16. But I know that Dino is really on ground as far as policies of that area is concerned. So let's wait and see what will happen on November 16.
But a lot of people will now say, Smart Adeyemi, he represented that constituency before now.
Yes.
When Dino was in the House of Representatives.
They were in the same party then.
Okay.
They were in the same party then. So the popularity contest was not between the two of them. Okay. But now they are in opposing party. So the popularity contest is now between the two of them, and even the Melaye that is chalked out of Senate, we all remember it was the same Smart that he defeated. It was the same Smart that he defeated to get that seat. And he is promising to do it once again.
Said it's my wife. It's my wife. I will marry him. I will marry him again.
You know,
what's the meaning of that?
That was what Dino Melaye said. That
about
Adeyemi is my wife. I will marry him again. I'm the husband. I will defeat him again.
He's using
the
value of the wife and the husband to. So
that is always defeating him.
Yes, that he will do it again.
Okay.
He plays the populist
what I want to appeal
politics.
is that they should not survive the will of the people. Let the will of the people prevail. If it goes the way of Dino, let it be Dino. If it goes the way of Adeyemi, let it be Adeyemi. Don't survive the will of the people. Let the people decide. It's about the people of that area. Let them decide who they want to represent them in the Senate between the two candidates now.
I think that advice should go to the Independent National Electoral Commission, yes, so that people can come out without intimidation. And I'm talking in terms of security. A lot of security concern for this KOGI election. And with this by-election, rerun election added to it, it has made the stake kind of higher.
Very.
The atmosphere, I just imagine what KOGI will look like in November 16.
Well, it might turn out to be an anticlimax, but it's good that they prepare. They prepare security-wise to make sure that law and order don't break down. It might come, we might say that there will be no problem. Because what I see there is that, especially in the area, the KOGI West, I see people focusing more on the senatorial election than even the gubernatorial. Yes.
I think there are going to be 2 ballot papers.
Of course.
So essentially one for Senate, one for governorship.
Exactly.
So there's no how it could rub off on each other. as in terms of turnouts, it could even make the
it
turnout to
will,
be
but,
more competitive.
Exactly, because people will come out and want to look. Every politics is local. The people of Kogi West, they will feel more concerned because these are their own. Yeah. So they will feel more concerned to feel that we must vote our own.
Okay, finally, at a time that we thought armed banditry was at a low ebb, we were giving a rude awakening to the sad reality that the situation in Kaduna State at the weekend. Now, on Sunday, bandits displaced 7 villages in Igabi, 17 villages in Igabi local government area of the state, leading to the displacement of about 2,000 residents. We were told that the victims are now taking refuge at the LEA primary school in Benin Yero. What is happening? Armed bandits again and displacing 17 villages. And in the quest of operation, this should have taken some hours. Are you telling me that the security situation is so loose that it took them to go to 17 villages in a local government without, being intercepted by
and another sad thing about that situation was that they carry out the attacks around 1 p.m. 1 p.m. The bandits have become so
broad daylight.
Now, in the past, they normally do such thing in the dead of the night. But now they are now coming out in daytime, 1 p.m. and they struck 17 villages. 17 villages. We now have how many people have been displaced now? Over 2,000 people being displaced. They are taking everything in a primary school. And as we speak now, academic activity is going in that primary school. How do you expect the pupils in that school to cope, to concentrate? Because academic activity is ongoing. They now have influx of people coming to take refuge in their school. The two cannot cohabit together. We need to do something about the security situation in that part of the country before it gets out of hand.
Well, did that helpless?
Just as we said earlier on, we invest more.
Is there communication in that local government?
Exactly. Those are the kind of things we are talking about. You get to some local government, even to make calls is difficult in this modern age. What is happening? 17 villages, 1, 2, 3, 4 to 17. I mean,
having a field day.
They had a field day. We have been talking about this thing every day and we are sounding like a broken record. When are we really going to get our acts together and right? Why should bandits invade? If it is 1 village, 2 villages, 3 villages, you can say, but 17.
They had all the time.
They had all the time, and in broad daylight. If the details of the story that I read was the vigilante group in the village had that the bandits were in a place and they took the war to them. Unfortunately, some of them were captured, and in annoyance, the bandits now unleashed themselves on the villages, all the villages around. So all those periods, there was no way the military, the police or intelligence and so on could communicate with each other and find a way to rescue these people. We are dealing with a situation of 21st century as if we are still in the 15th century. It is unheard of. It is unheard of. It is very, very frustrating that in this age and time, people are being attacked in 17 villages. I mean, if it is just 1 or 2 villages, you can say, okay, maybe, well, and all that. But 17. Is it that the roads are so bad? Or communication is so terrible? Or what exactly happened? These are the things that our security agencies must focus on. We are focusing more, as Yoruba would say, curing ringworm when leprosy is there. We should leave people alone and focus on security issues. Security is all this investment, foreign investment and all those things we are always talking about. If there's no security, nobody will come and invest.
You know, the annoying thing is that it's the vigilante group that took the battle to the bandits. Yeah. That's an indictment on the part of government, if they don't know.
Vigilante group?
Yeah. The vigilante group have went to go and attack them first. They knew that they were hiding somewhere. So I think they wanted to preempt them from coming to attack them. So they went for them first. So in annoyance, they said, you people have the audacity to come and attack us in our hideout. So they now enrich themselves on the villages. That's an indictment on the part of government, because it would have been different if it was to be that it's the security agents that went to go and look for them. But for vigilante group to have done that, it means that people have decided to self-help. They have lost faith. They have lost faith in the government. And the primary responsibility of the government is that they must ensure that there is security of life and property. It's the constitutional responsibility of the government to ensure that we are safe and our property are safe at all times. We now have a situation where vigilante people fall themselves to vigilance group. They now say, we know that these people are hiding somewhere. Let's go and look for them. They now went. No policeman or any soldier or any security agent
stop them.
Went with them. They went on their own. It's because they have lost faith in government. That's why they decided to self-help. What they did was dangerous. They could have been killed. And it was that annoyance that made the bandits. So now raided those 17 villages in one day. Broad daylight. They didn't hide under the cover of the darkness. So they came out 1 p.m. and they had a field day for those number of hours.
Okay, I have Tunde is calling us from Lagos. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Yes.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Shagun, not Tunde in the
Oh, Shagun. Okay, go ahead with your contribution, please.
There's a lot of similarity between what just happened and the Chibok girls issues. I think it's a clear failure of intelligence gathering. Like the man in the middle said, I think we need to invest more on intelligence gathering before the weapons. The weapons are good, but the weapons will only work effectively if there's proper, adequate intelligence gathering. And it's actually a shame that this issue took place 1 p.m. in the afternoon. It clearly shows that there was no security on ground. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank you, Wahid Bakari. Thank you for being a guest on the show. And Olayinka Oyebile, thank you. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can also watch Journalist Hangouts on our platforms showing on the screen. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangouts at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Ozuwako. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.